Greetings everyone and welcome to the Occult Think Tank. My name is Greg. In this video I am going to be giving you the 9 satanic statements as well as the 11 satanic rules of earth. The 9 satanic statements. Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse, than those that walk on all fours, who, because of his divine, spiritual, and intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all. Satan represents all of the so-called sins, as they lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years. The 11 satanic rules of earth. Do not give opinions or advice unless you're asked. Do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure they want to hear them. When in another's lair, show him respect, or else do not go there. If a guest in your lair annoys you, treat him cruelly and without mercy. Do not make sexual advances unless you are given the mating signal. Do not take that which does not belong to you unless it is a burden to the other person and he cries out to be relieved. Acknowledge the power of magic if you have employed it successfully to obtain your desires. If you deny the power of magic after having called upon it with success, you will lose all you have obtained. Do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself to. Do not harm little children. Do not kill non-human animals unless you are attacked or for your food. When walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask him to stop. If he does not stop, destroy him. And that is the 11 satanic statements. I have very few problems with any of that, except I do feel some of that is overly harsh. However, I understand the sentiment where it's coming from. Because, like I'm probably going to have on this video, on the last one, there's a Christian light of God that I guess they think all of my videos have to be about them. Because when I do a video about Satanism, they're automatically assuming that I'm buying into the idea of a Satan. This is, I guess it shouldn't surprise me that Christians would be guilty of the number one satanic sin, stupidity. But it still shocks me just how fucking stupid they actually are. LaVeyan Satanism is not about an actual devil or an actual Satan. The reason it was called Satanism, Anton LaVey had said it was to keep out those that are part of the herd mentality, which is the Christian. It's not about a Satan. Like I mentioned in the 9 satanic statements. Basically, Satan represents various things. It is not that LaVeyan Satanists actually believe or worship a Satan. LaVeyan Satanism is more about yourself and doing things that you enjoy, not putting on false airs, not trying to be something that you're not. That's all it's about. But Christians can only see things from their narrow, sadistic perspective. Anyone that doesn't think like them, they feel that the person should be tortured. When I walked away from Christianity at the age of 24, I knew from my upbringing in Christianity that I was damned. So I felt I had no choice but to go to Satanism, because I couldn't go along with the torture of others for any reason. And since that meant I couldn't go along with Jesus and his ideas, then the only other option at that time that I was seeing was Satanism. So in effect, Christianity pushed me to Satanism as a, to use the term, knee-jerk reaction once I realized I can't go along with Jesus. He's just too evil. The thing is, there has never been actually a book or anything that really would detail what a Satan would feel or think, what its position would be. And when I was 16, I had said in a type of prayer that I wanted to know everything there is to know about God, because I knew at 16 that if I was expected to make a choice between this God and this Satan, then I needed to know everything that I could about both in order to make that decision. Well, I know the Bible extremely well, and the only problem I have is I have not found anything that would represent an actual Satan and what its position would be. The only thing that I have seen are things like the Levian Satanism. There are other satanic organizations like Joy of Satan and others, but I really don't have any interest in like Joy of Satan or any of that shit. But as I had mentioned in a previous video, my friend Tom Blackwood had said about he could ordain me as a satanic priest. And I started to go into why, and I had sidetracked myself. It's not because he's my friend, but it's because of the knowledge that I have, both about the Bible as well as the knowledge that I have regarding ancient Sumer. Because the God he believes in, as far as I know, is Enki. He had said Enlil is the bastard god from the Old Testament. That Enki, in the Jewish aspect, would be akin to Satan. I don't know. I would have to really look into the Sumerian religion a bit more. But I'm considering the idea of basically being a satanic priest. I don't know. And if it's going to offend Christians, Christians, don't fucking tempt me. That's all I have to say. Don't fucking tempt me. Or I could very well do it. Because it's not about their bullshit. Because it would be more about going into what the Sumerian religion was all about, with the Anunnaki and so forth. Because to the way I'm looking at this, it would be more of diving into the aspect of aliens in human history, and or even to use the term of ancient aliens. Because that is what I think this all comes down to. That God, Satan, all of that, we have been pulled into basically an alien conflict. That potentially there could be two different alien races that are fighting for control over Earth, or Gaia, as I've heard it put. It's Gaia or Gaia is the other name that I've heard for Earth. And if that would be the case, then we would do well to know as much as we can about all potential alien races that have been here and that the government knows about. Because the government knows far more than they're letting on. When I had my battle with the Army on the alien subject, essentially I was told, shut the fuck up. The Army did not want me talking about the alien subject because I don't really know why. Other than I know it is forbidden ground regarding as far as the government is concerned. They know this shit is real, but they refuse to acknowledge it. It's claimed that that is because people would panic. I don't know that many would. I know the religious would lose their fucking mind. They would want to try and act like any alien is a demon. But there are some that could pass for human, like the Pleiadians. I don't know. But it's something I'm looking into. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this, and feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Later, people.